Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place that takes all that information you share with us and helps turn it into knowledge you can actually use, like right away. Today, we are plunging into a really powerful new framework. It's designed to solve that friction, the kind that happens when you try to improve your life, but then you just hit a wall.
Yeah, the wall of other people.
Exactly. We're talking about this two-part structure called the let them theory. It's all about reclaiming power.
That's right. And our mission today is simple. Quickly break down the mechanism, the philosophy, and the psychology behind this concept. Because, look, you're already moving forward.
Sure.
You're using tools, maybe like the 5-second rule to get yourself going, taking risks. But then that momentum often hits a snag.
Yeah, it stalls out.
Stalls out because of those external things. The boss who micromanages, maybe family judging your choices, or just general drama. This theory, it's the tool for handling that.
And it's interesting how personal it feels, right? The book's dedication is to the author's daughter, Sawyer. It just says, as they say, let them. It kind of signals this isn't just about huge problems.
No, not at all. It's about those small, everyday moments where we get caught up trying to manage how other people react. It's draining.
It really is.
And this represents a really fundamental shift in the power dynamic. It's about taking your focus, your energy away from what you actually can't control.
Other people,
their actions, their opinions, and putting that power squarely back onto yourself where it belongs.
Okay, so let's unpack this. I think we need to start where the author's journey really kicked off with her earlier tool, the 5-second rule.
Good idea.
Because it really sets the stage for the problem as the let them theory comes in to solve. And that origin story, it's pretty dramatic.
Oh, yeah. Rock bottom at 41, unemployed, huge debt, like $800,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and using all those avoidance tactics, hitting the snooze button, drinking too much, blaming her husband, you know the drill.
Avoidance, yeah.
And the thing is, that paralysis, that financial and emotional gridlock, it wasn't because she didn't know what to do. She knew she had to get up, open the mail, face the music.
She knew it intellectually.
Exactly. But her brain was just stopping her. Overthinking, doubt, fear, all before she could even make a move.
Which is precisely why the 5-second rule struck such a chord, wasn't it? So simple.
Deceptively simple. Just counting backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like a rocket launch.
Yeah, it forces that physical movement before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it. It's all about interrupting that cycle of procrastination, that doubt spiral.
Breaking the pattern.
Psychologically, it's effective because it gets right to the core principle. Action is the answer. You don't sit around waiting to feel motivated.
Because you might wait forever.
You probably will. So you use that countdown, bypass the mental roadblocks, and just force that first tiny step. Consistent action. But here's the key thing.
What's that?
The 5-second rule is totally focused on self-improvement. Getting yourself out of bed, fixing your finances, improving your health. It's internal.
Okay, I see where you're going. So you use the rule, you get yourself moving, you start making progress. But then, bam, you run smack into the reality that you share the planet with about 7 billion other people.
Exactly. You've maybe started to win the internal battle, right? But now you hit the external friction, the stuff outside your own head.
And that's where relationships come in. You mentioned the research.
Yeah, the research is really clear on this. The number one factor consistently for a healthy, happy life, it's the quality of your relationships.
Makes sense.
But then trying to manage those relationships, constantly worrying about what others are doing or saying or thinking, it becomes this huge, exhausting shock absorber.
Right. It just sucks up all that positive energy you built.
Totally stalls the momentum you got from the 5-second rule or whatever else you were doing.
We spend so much energy trying to control other people, don't we? Saying just the right thing so they'll like us.
Oh, yeah. Or taking on way too much work, hoping the boss won't be critical.
Or just bending over backwards for family to keep some kind of impossible peace. It's exhausting.
It's a losing battle. You're fighting for control you fundamentally don't have.
Okay, so this is the perfect entry point for let them.
This is exactly the door it walks through, yeah. The core idea of let them is, at its heart, pretty simple. It's freedom.
Freedom from what?
Freedom from that exhausting job of trying to manage everyone else's opinions, their drama, their judgments. Just let them.
Let your colleague be grumpy if they're going to be grumpy.
But let them. Let your dad have his opinions about your life choices, even if you disagree.
Let him.
Let them.
But hang on, if let them works so well, for reducing stress and anxiety,
yeah,
why isn't that the whole story?
Right.
Why the second part? Because sometimes let them could sound a bit like, I don't know, giving up,
That's a really critical point.
like avoiding hard conversations.
Right. And it's not giving up. It's not surrender in that sense. It's more about radical acceptance, really. Yeah. Accepting the reality that their behavior, their choices, their feelings, they're outside your control. Okay. The energy we pour into trying to change or fix or manage them, that's the definition of wasted life, wasted energy. We do it because we think controlling things makes us safe.
An illusion of safety.
Totally an illusion, because when you try to control the uncontrollable, like other people, your anxiety actually goes up, not down.
So let them is about stopping that doomed effort.
Exactly. Stop trying.
I think that prom story really brings it home. The author's son, Oakley, and just total prom chaos.
Oh, it's such a vivid example. Yeah, the author was deep in control mode, right? Trying to fix a last-minute corsage disaster.
I have all been there.
Totally. Frantically searching for some fancy restaurant for, like, 20 teenagers in formal wear. And then, of course...
This part, pouring rain.
Bucketing down, and the kids, tuxes, gowns, the whole bit.
Yeah.
They decide, forget the fancy place. Let's walk through the rain to this tiny taco joint called Amigos.
Oh, my God. Parental nightmare fuel.
Right. And the author is scrambling, trying to save the clothes, save the photos, save the moment, trying to prevent what she sees as a disaster. She's carrying all the stress for them.
She's managing their experience.
Yes. Until her daughter, Kendall, just sees it plain as day, grabs her mom and says, basically...
What does she say?
Mom, if Oakley and his friends want to go to a taco bar before prom, let them. Let them get soaked. Let them ruin their clothes. It's their prom, not yours. Just drop it.
Oh, let them. Just like that.
Just like that.
I can almost feel the tension just vanishing, that parental panic lifting. But what's happening, like, psychologically in that moment? How does the brain just switch gears like that?
When you genuinely say let them, you're essentially practicing emotional detachment. You're hitting pause on that anxiety loop.
The one that's rooted in trying to control everything.
Exactly. That primal urge for control. The second you declare, even just internally, okay, their decision, their opinion, their mood, that belongs to them, not me.
Yeah.
The stress you were carrying to manage it, it just evaporates.
You get your peace back.
You get your peace back. You get your energy back instantly.
Okay, it sounds amazing. Almost too perfect. Which must be why there's this crucial second step you mentioned.
Yeah.
The real power move.
Yes. This is critical, because if let them is the only tool you use, you actually run into a different kind of problem.
What happens?
Well, you get that initial relief, right? That little jolt of superiority, the book calls it. Mm-hmm. You feel detached, maybe even wiser for rising above the drama.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then what if you just stay there detached? What's the term? You get stranded in your superiority.
No, okay.
If you only use let them, it can easily slide into isolation, withdrawal, even loneliness, because you've detached, sure, but you haven't actually re-engaged with your life in an empowered way. You're just floating.
Okay, let's use that seesaw analogy from the book. That might help visualize it. So without let them, say you get left out of a friend trip, you internalize it. You think, oh, there must be something wrong with me.
You sit down on the seesaw.
Right, giving them the power, feeling weighed down by rejection, jealousy, all that heavy stuff.
Perfectly put. Now let them. That gives you the power to push off the ground. You rise up. You detach from that immediate sting.
Okay.
You acknowledge, okay, they can plan their trip. That's their choice. Let them. It gives you that lift. But if you just hover there, high up on the seesaw, detached.
You're not actually going anywhere. You're stuck up there.
Exactly. You're stranded. You haven't moved your own life forward.
Right. And that's where let me comes in. This is the second part, the power move.
This is where the real sustainable power lies. Mm-hmm. Taking responsibility for your next move.
So if let them is kind of like a defensive shield, then let me is like the strategic offense, taking action.
Precisely. It's the proactive step. Yeah. The author talks about realizing this with that same friend trip example. Let them helped her cope with the initial hurt of being excluded. That faded. But then came let me. That forced her to look inward.
What did she find?
She had to ask, okay, wait, was I doing my part in these friendships? Had I invested? Had I planned anything fun lately? And the honest answer was, no, not really.
Ah, okay. So the external situation, being left out, actually revealed an internal issue she needed to address.
Exactly. The let me turned potential bitterness or avoidance into proactive self-reflection and then action.
So let me is about asking, okay, what do I need to do now?
Yes.
What's my next move? Let me be more proactive in reaching out. Let me suggest a get-together. Let me set better boundaries with work so I actually have time and energy for friendships.
It reframes responsibility.
Completely. Responsibility isn't blame. It's simply the ability to respond. You stop focusing on what they did or didn't do, and you focus entirely on what you can and will do next. That's where your control actually lies.
And this whole two-part system, it's not just a new self-help fad, is it? You mentioned it connects to older ideas. Oh, absolutely. This framework, focusing on accepting the external while taking internal action, it's deeply rooted in centuries of wisdom. It lines up perfectly with Stoicism, for instance.
So?
The Stoics talked a lot about the dichotomy of control, basically sorting everything into two boxes. Stuff you control, your thoughts, your judgments, your actions, and stuff you don't control.
Like other people, traffic, the weather.
Exactly. Let them is essentially a modern, practical instruction for how to deal with everything in that second box.
Right.
Release your grip on it.
Okay. And you also mentioned Buddhism.
Yeah, it echoes radical acceptance, the Buddhist idea that a lot of our suffering comes from resisting reality, wishing things were different.
Wanting people to act differently than they do.
Right. Let them is like a tool for consciously letting go of that resistance, accepting how others are rather than how you wish they'd be.
Interesting. And the nonviolence connection.
That was powerful. Martin Luther King III and Andrea Waters King drew a direct line to Dr. King's philosophy. They explained that choosing peace, refusing to react with bitterness or hate, even in the face of injustice, that is power.
Choosing your response.
Choosing your response. It's the ultimate reclamation of strength because your response is always internal. It's yours.
Okay, so we get the theory, the two parts. Let's talk practical application for the listener, because the sources show this isn't just abstract, it applies everywhere. Maybe we could quickly touch on how it works for, say, chronic comparison. That's huge these days.
Huge source of anxiety, especially online.
Right.
So the external battle is constantly seeing those curated, perfect-looking lives.
The highlight reels.
Highlight reels. And that comparison trap just makes you feel inadequate, unsuccessful, right?
Totally. So let them move.
Let them succeed. Let them post their shiny pictures. Let them live a life that looks different from yours. Let them just acknowledging that frees up so much mental energy we waste scrolling and feeling bad.
Okay, frees up the space. Then let me.
Let me is the power move. Let me define what success looks like for me. Let me focus on my unique path, my strengths. Let me put the phone down and use this time to actually build the life I want.
That's the offense. Got it. What about adult friendships? They can get complicated.
Super complicated. Okay, so maybe a friend keeps canceling plans or you feel excluded from something. The gut reaction is often blame or taking it personally.
Right. Why are they doing this to me?
Exactly. So let them first. Let them be busy. Let them have their own chaotic lives. Let them make choices that might not include you sometimes. Their choices are theirs. Accept it.
Okay, detachment from their actions. Then
let me assess your own needs. Are you just passively waiting for invites? Then maybe the let me is. Let me be the one to extend an invitation this time. Let me clearly define the kind of connection I need and take steps to create it instead of just waiting for others.
taking ownership.
Taking ownership of your side of the street.
It really shows how broadly we tend to give our power away without realizing it. But we absolutely have to mention the caveat about parenting.
Crucial.
Yes. Because you can't just let them run wild if them or your kids needing guidance.
Absolutely not. And that's why the author brought in Dr. Stuart Ablon, an expert in child psychology. It's a very fine balance.
So how does it work with kids?
Let them in parenting is about recognizing your child's growing competence. Let them choose their own outfit within reason. Let them struggle a bit with a task they can actually manage. It builds their confidence.
But it's not neglect.
Not at all. It has to be balanced by the let me make sure they're safe. Let me set clear boundaries. Let me teach them the skills they need to navigate challenges. It stops let them from becoming parental detachment or permissiveness. It's guidance, not abandonment.
Okay, that's a really important distinction. So zooming back out, the big picture difference here is letting go can sometimes feel passive, maybe even like losing something.
Right. It can feel like defeat.
But let them feels active, like strength.
It's an empowered choice. And it's definitely not an excuse to dodge difficult conversations or pretend problems don't exist. It's about consciously deciding to stop pouring energy into controlling things you simply cannot control.
Redirecting that energy inward.
Exactly, towards what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and responses.
So ultimately, the theory lands on a very clear message.
Crystal clear. Your life, your happiness, your health, your success, it's fundamentally your responsibility.
Nobody else's.
Nobody else's. You have to stop waiting. Stop waiting for permission or an invitation or for somebody else to change so you can finally move forward. The change starts with, let me.
That commitment to your own action.
Yes.
Which brings us perfectly to our final provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over today.
Okay.
If you have that let the moment you realize you're holding back, maybe not pursuing something, not speaking up, and the only thing stopping you is the fear of how someone else might react or what they might think or judge. What is the very first let me action you absolutely must commit to taking? Maybe even within the next 5 seconds. Go on, count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is